In today's video, we're going to dive into 1960s dollar versus today's dollar versus silver. What has silver has done since the 1960s. Also, you might be a little bit surprised what it has done over the years. Please like, share, and subscribe. Every time you give that a thumbs up, it lets YouTube know to send it out to more and more people. Let's keep liking the videos, sharing the videos. If you're not yet subscribed, it's absolutely free to subscribe to this channel. Let's just get into the video right now. Gas in the 1960s cost 31 cents to 35 cents. Yes, you would need more than a silver quarter back then to get a gallon of gas. Today, that silver quarter melts for, recording this video, $5.60. Now I'm going to ask you, what's gas prices in your area? Is it less than $5.60? I think most of the country of the United States of America, gas, regular gas, is less than $5.60 a gallon. There may be a little bit spots more than $5.60 right now. Parts of Canada is probably a little bit more. Parts of different countries may be a little bit more in dollar terms, but really you can take this into any coin shop, and we're paying right now $5.72. We're paying a little bit over melt value for them right now at the shop. So yes, you can get a fairly good amount of gas for a silver quarter right now if you went to the coin shop to trade it. What did a loaf of bread cost back in 1960s? Roughly about 22 cents a loaf for generic white bread. While if you shop at Aldi's, you shop at a low discount store, their generic bread's about $2 a loaf right now. Again, a quarter melts for $5.60, so you can get 2 loaves of bread for that quarter and still get change back. You know, yes, again, you have to take it to a coin shop, get your $5.60 or so, and go into the Aldi store and get your 2 loaves of bread, and you still got change back. You know, for a quarter. You know, I just don't know how much to explain this. It's silver and gold have really protected people's wealth over the years, and it's a hedge against inflation. Silver more so than gold. I like silver over gold right now. I think it's got a lot more room to run. You know, what did milk cost back in the 1960s? 49 cents a gallon for milk. So back in 1960s, if you had a half dollar, you get a little bit of change back. Well, times $5.60 times 2, let's call it, you know, $12 or so. You know, pretty close to $12 for a half dollar. You know, a little less than $12 this actually. About $11.20, $11.30, whatever the math is on that one. And you can get almost 3 gallons of milk today for $0.50. And you know, you've almost tripled your milk right there in $0.50 in today's money. Depending what the milk prices in your area are right now, the milk in my area is roughly about $3 a gallon at Aldi's. So I can almost get 4 gallons of milk for $0.50. Just keep that in mind, how much power silver has gained over the years. What did a movie ticket cost back in 1960s? Roughly about 70 cents for one movie ticket. So if you had a silver half, you had a silver quarter, that's 75 cents, you would get change back. Well, I'm sure you can go see a movie minus the popcorn, minus the soda, minus the candy, and you took this into a coin shop, $1.50 and a quarter, and you would still get change back after you get the fiat money to go see that movie. It's the same thing. It's just it costs you more dollars today than silver has kept up with the cost of inflation. And there's another point right there. It's just kept up. I still believe silver's way undervalued. I believe silver today should be $275 plus. You know, at the inflation rate, we should be having $275 silver today. Sounds crazy, but that is really the deep down math where silver should be today. It's just not there. It's got room to go when it's ready to go. The people who work at the COMEX and the LBM, the clowns, the jokers, whatever you want to call them, the thieves, call them any name in the book you want to. That's what they are They are thieves, they're clowns, and they're jokers trying to keep the price down. At some point, they're going to lose control, and silver will go up where it's supposed to be. At some point, when is that going to happen? I can't tell you that. Nobody can tell you that. What did an average home for rent cost back in 1960s? Roughly about $71 a month. What does rent cost today? Some of the areas is over $2,000. Some areas is over $3,000. Yes, homes have changed over the years. They got upgrades, blah, blah, blah. But is it really, how much are you really gaining in today's houses over the 1960s? You know, really, you really got to stop and think. You know, yeah, you might got AC, you got a better heating system and stuff like that. But really, it's not really improved that much since the 1960s for a home. It's a roof over your head. That's all we need to live on. You need shelter, you need water, and you need food. Everything else is just extras. You know, we don't need cable TV. You know, we don't need, we don't need the internet to live off of. Well, yeah, probably today that we do, because everything is run by the internet. But that's what they want. They want everything run by one system. And I believe we're going to central bank digital currency one day. People say whoever gets office, this person's not going to allow it. You know, the banks have more power than the president, really. That's really what has come down to. The banks are getting away, basically, with everything they can get away with all these fees. You overdraft fees; those fees are going up. You're gonna have certain amounts in your fees in your bank. If you don't, then they're gonna hit you with a maintenance fee. You go to the wrong ATM. You know, some banks will give you your money back, with the ATM refund. Some banks won't. Depends on the bank. Some places, charge up to $5-6 to withdraw money. That's ridiculous. To draw your own money out, and that is just a ridiculous amount of fees to be paying at ATMs. It's just absolutely crazy. One of the biggest restaurants around the 1960s was the Howard Johnson's. I saw an article on this, and this was where people across the country, when they were crossing the country by car, they would be stopping at Howard Johnson at restaurants, and that was the go-to restaurant back in the 60s. I remember I was born in 1980, and I remember about 88, I guess it was about 88, 89, yeah, there was still Howard Johnson's around, but there was very few around. And I tell you, I went there once, never went back. The food was lousy. I remember that to this day. I remember I ordered chicken wings, and they still had feathers on the chicken wings. You believe it or not, that's what happened. My dad and my mother at the time said, we're never going to come back here again. They used to be good. They gone downhill. Well, guess what? They're out of business now. Goodbye, Howard Johnson's. Rest in peace, Howard Johnson's. But, that's the change from the 1960s, and also a lot of these department stores, they had dining rooms. They had actual restaurants in the department stores. You don't see that today. Remember when Walmart used to have that little cafe? Kmart was there, Kmart was around. They had their little cafe. You can go. You don't see this anymore, hardly. That's about gone. I remember when I was in Maine, they had a little store called Grand City in Brunswick, Maine, on Main Street. And it was an old store from the 1950s, 1960s, and they had a little sit-down restaurant. And the food wasn't half bad for the price at the time. I mean, it was very reasonable. You go there for BLT or whatever, nothing really fancy, just really a diner, really. And the food was pretty gosh darn good, and they gave you a lot of food for the money. And that's how times have changed. It's really sad to see these older stores go away one by one by one. And I guess those were the good old days, and the good old days is gone, and most of us are shopping online now. And I guess they want us to stay home and be happy and own nothing, right? I digress there. $3 in silver. There's $3 here in halves from the 1960s, and $3. Well, it don't matter what denomination you have. Today, they melt for $63.60. Okay, $63.60 for having $3 in junk silver. That's the melt value of this recording of this video. That is a lot. That just proves what can you get for $63.60 today. Maybe one good steak dinner at a fancy restaurant for one person. Well, now you got, if you hold this, had this, and you took this in the coin shop and you got this traded in, you could take yourself and somebody else out there, and either your wife, your husband, a family member, a friend, out to a good steak dinner and really enjoy yourself if you got these for a lot cheaper price than they melt for today. It holds its value. If you hold these, yeah, these are not 1960 bills, I get that, but if you hold $3 in paper, you still have $3 in paper. That's the point. You don't want to be holding paper. If you can stack silver right now, I would recommend stack as much as junk silver as you can, or any type of silver, but I like the junk silver at this time. I think it's the cheapest price out there right now, and that is my plague, is I'm stacking as much as I can right now of the 90% silver when I'm able to afford it. And it just goes to show from just the 1960s. I was born in 80, so from I was born in 1980. I'll repeat that again, and I'm 44, and you just add 20 years to that. I would, if I was born in 1960, I'd be 64. 64 years ago, silver has maintained its value. It always will. Yes, it's been a long road. That's why I say silver and gold are for the long road for wealth protection. I'll end it there, folks. Thank you for watching. Coin Shop Chris is out.